Hey everyone, we're here, Two Protons in a Cloud, a weekly live dialogue connecting industry experts and influencers to the online technical community. That's you. You can join us every Thursday for a virtual hangout. We chat with our guests of the week about all things cloud, dig into projects they're passionate about. Sometimes we share demos, always having a good laugh and trying to learn something along the way. I'm Adrienne Kraft, one of your hosts and a technical evangelist for HPE Helion.
Hi, and I'm Sujay Maheshwari, your second host and a dev evangelist at HP Helium. Welcome.
Great. So today we're combining evangelism forces and talking with Stormy Peters today, VP of Technical Evangelism at the Cloud Foundry Foundation. Not only do we watch her Cloud Foundry Morning Edition every week, but we've also participated in some great activities Cloud Foundry Foundation has put on, like the Doc Sprint in San Francisco in September and the Cloud Foundry Summit in Berlin just this last week. So we'll get an update on what's been happening in her world and a few CF scenarios.
And make sure you stick around for this full episode. At the end of this episode, we are announcing our first HPE Helium app. That's the hashtag. Challenge winner. Yay.
Exciting.
But first, this week's headline, Adrian. So did you hear about Microsoft and Red Hat announcing a new hybrid cloud partnership? So
Yep.
Red Hat solutions will be available natively to Microsoft customers, and in turn, Microsoft will offer Red Hat Enterprise Linux as a preferred choice to enterprise customers. So,
Okay. Cool.
yeah,
I mean, that's obviously an impact that's going to be for the long term.
yeah. Another two
So
forces coming together. So,
yeah, it works. So unrelated, but a note on how the cloud has gone to Hollywood. Us Weekly reports, and I'm considering this a reliable news source, Sujay, so just humor me.
Yeah, sure.
Gwen Stefani and recent ex Gavin Rosdale ended their marriage after Gwen discovered proof of an affair between Gavin and the nanny from the family iPad that was synced to Gavin's phone. So syncing your devices means the cloud knows all of your secrets.
Well, yeah, yeah, no comments there because of the source you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
And it's not all about enterprise all the time when we talk about cloud. Cornell University announced plans for 5 year, which is a 5 million project funded by the National Science Foundation. The plan is to develop the Aristotle Cloud Federation.
And because of the benefit of cloud computing is that it enables access to shared resources and information on demand, in simplified terms, Aristotle eliminates the wait for resource availability locally. So researchers can share the resources across institutional boundaries. And this definitely would have been a great tool when I was working in academia. So
Yeah,
exciting.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Moving on, from a university to the government, right? The Korean government presented a blueprint for the promotion of cloud computing yesterday. The roadmap outlines that the government will turn its IT centers into cloud computing centers and elevate the number of cloud companies to 800 and the cloud use rate to 30% by 2018.
Yeah, and pretty cool because a few weeks ago, Stormy announced that they joined the Cloud Foundry Foundation. So we're really keeping up with that CF momentum. So kind of transitioning now, we want to welcome Stormy Peters, as I said, VP of Technical Evangelism at the Cloud Foundry Foundation. She has a long-standing career in educating and advocating for open source software. Stormy's led Mozilla's 7,000-strong developer network and has been a leader in the open source community efforts through multiple positions and philanthropic projects. So we're really excited. Thank you, Stormy, for joining us today. I can see you're currently at a conference and head to Shanghai for the next summit in December. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to.
Thanks, Adrian. So just a couple weeks ago, we were together at the Cloud Foundry Summit in Berlin. It's an awesome crowd and a lot of energy. And right now I'm at the DeFrag conference in Broomfield, Colorado, so I'll just give you a view of what it looks like out the window here.
Looks good.
It's a really great crowd. I gave a keynote yesterday about Cloud Foundry and about how open source cloud software is really bringing the power of computing to everyone. So not just big technology companies, but also to companies that aren't traditionally technology companies, and also to individuals. And I gave them like a little 30-second demo of how I actually pushed a Hello World app, and I did that on screen. So that worked out all right, and there were lots of tweets. It's a good crowd.
Awesome. You're going to give Sujay a run for his money. All right. So we'll kick into some questions for you, Stormy. Sujay?
Yeah. So, Stormy, as you mentioned, right, last week in CF Summit Berlin, where we heard Colin Humphreys say in his keynote, right, that CF is not exciting. It's what you can do with the Cloud Foundry platform is exciting. And as soon as you mentioned it, we all noticed kind of a cheer in the crowd and quite a few number of tweets during the summit. Why do you think this resonated so well with the audience?
Yeah, I think, first off, I think most of us in technology, like, we like our gadgets, we like our technology, but we're really trying to do something with it. Like, we have a goal, and we think either it can help us make a difference, or it can help change the world, or it can help our business be better, but we have something we're trying to do with it. And in the case of, like, cloud computing, companies have teams of like 20 to 30 people that help them maintain all that infrastructure. And what Cloud Foundry does is make it a lot easier to maintain that cloud infrastructure. So now instead of a team of 20 or 30 dedicated to just like making it work, you can have a much smaller team maintaining that platform, and then your company can focus on all the value add. So all those people's time can be freed up to solve whatever problem it is they're trying to solve for the world. So I think it resonated with everybody because, like, instead of like just trying to make the basics work, all of a sudden, like, they all work fabulously, and you can like focus on what you're trying to do for the world.
Right.
No,
Totally.
I absolutely agree too. And those use cases that were presented by some of the speakers, you could really feel the enthusiasm. So I'm right on board with what you said. And another note, there was that unconference with the short lightning talks on Sunday before the actual summit, and a lot of the discussion during that was around Docker and or platform as a service. So you being an evangelist, what's your take on that topic?
My take on platform as a service is that the reason I'm at Cloud Foundry is because I think we need an open source solution, one that we can make sure is accessible to everybody across the entire world, across all economic differences, across all types of companies. And I think one of the messages we need to push as evangelists for Cloud Foundry and as developers who depend on it is a lot of people have realized the potential finally of containers. So they realize that containers are really powerful and do some really awesome things, and so they love containers and they talk about Docker. What they don't always catch on to is that platform as a service uses containers as part of its component. So Cloud Foundry has containers, and one of those container types can be Docker, but it offers a whole bunch of other things around the containers to continue to help you, like schedulers and optimizers. So I think the message is, like, containers are awesome, and you still need a bunch more features from the platform as a service offerings.
Correct. Yep. I think containers just won't exist by themselves, and as you rightly said, platform as a service is the whole enchilada, or it offers more and beyond containers. So totally. You mentioned that Cloud Foundry, and we all know is an open source project, and it has been quite a journey. So can you tell us how the Cloud Foundry core team prioritizes the challenges, the work? Give us an inside scoop of what a meeting is like, when you guys sit, the core team sits.
Yeah, so there's not a single meeting or a single place where everything's decided, but there's a really good structure so that you can follow it. The Cloud Foundry Foundation is a nonprofit that has 53 member companies, and all of those member companies are either people that take Cloud Foundry and offer it as a service, such as HP, offers HP Helion and Staccato to people, or they're users, like people who depend on Cloud Foundry as part of their business and want to be actively involved to make sure that their their needs are met in the platform. And so the way we've done it in the code base is that each code base has like an owner that owns that piece of code, and they work with all of the maintainers in that code base, and I believe most of them meet on a weekly basis. Some of them have moved. There's actually a GitHub project that you can follow where you can follow all of the notes from all of the weekly meetings from all of the technical components of Cloud Foundry. So if you're interested in following the project, it's a great way to get the notes. It's called PMC Notes, I think is the name of the GitHub project. And then the leads from all of those different components meet in a community council meeting every Tuesday morning, every other week on Tuesday morning, and they talk about the status of their project, and then they compare notes and make sure there's not any issues that they need to talk about across components. So that's a PMC council meeting on Tuesday mornings every other week, I believe.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. And I think there's an interesting, can I add a little bit there?
Yeah.
One of the things that's really interesting about Cloud Foundry that's a little different than other projects and a little different than other open source software projects is that we have these things called dojos. And so all of Cloud Foundry is written in pair programming format where two people actually sit next to each other and write the code together. And so if you want to become a Cloud Foundry committer and a full-time developer on the project, you can actually go to a dojo, and you go and you spend several weeks at this dojo pair programming with a more experienced developer. And then at the end of it, you're like a legitimate Cloud Foundry developer. But it gives you this mentoring, like on-site, person-to-person mentoring process. And those work across companies, across projects. So many of our member companies have dojos. We have one at the foundation. Pivotal has one. Other members have one. And it's a very unique way to get new contributors up to speed quickly on the project.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that you've got that program up on the website as well, cloudfoundry.org. So I was reading through that. Is it correct you have 4 locations, I think London, Massachusetts, and 2 in California right now?
Yeah, the 2 in California would be the Pivotal and the Foundation. Okay. The one in Massachusetts is EMC. And we have several other members who are opening dojos, so stay tuned for more.
Super. Yeah, well, we're excited. So awesome. Another thing that I want to touch base on, and you did do this at the summit, you had a meetup for meetup leaders. We love meetups. Sujay travels all over to present at them. But I kind of want to get your take on what are some of your goals in order to grow this Cloud Foundry meetup community? Anything kind of come out from either the summit or stuff that you've been stewing on?
Yeah, so we think meetups are a really great way to reach people because there's like 150-something meetups that have Cloud Foundry as one of their topics, and each one of those meetup groups gets people together once a month to have, probably some pizza and drinks and to talk, to hear what somebody else has done with Cloud Foundry. So a really great way to reach out to people and to give them a network to ask questions and to kind of hear from a more experienced person or somebody else who's also starting, like how they could do things. In the Cloud Foundry Morning Edition, which is the podcast that I do every week, I actually asked a couple people at the summit how they do meetups. So there was a great quote from someone who runs a meetup in a pub every month in London. The person that ran the unconference at the summit actually talked about how she does that. Paula did from Cloud Credo. And so what I'm trying to do is help all these meetups be more successful. And one of the things that's really most hard is getting great speakers circulating because, you ask your 10 friends that are in Cloud Foundry, and then how do you reach the next person? So we put together a speaker page with a bunch of bios. If you're a speaker, we'd love to have add you to that page, and then we have some funding to help send people to pay for their travel to go to different meetups around the world. But it's really creating this global community of over 1,000 people. That's just really awesome.
Wow, very exciting. And we were part of the meetup evening, which was on the 14th floor Sky Lounge. It was, yeah. So I think we are coming towards the end of our episode. And I want to ask this question to you. So if you were to ask this one question to the developer community, or this one thing to the developer community, what would that be from a foundation perspective?
So it would be a question that I wanted to know from them, or something I would like them to do. So my question.
Yeah, maybe something they want to do, not a question. They should do something. What would that be?
Yeah, so my keynote yesterday at this conference at DFrag, I asked everybody to explain to somebody else the power of the cloud. So like what they could do on the cloud, because it's really amazing. You could write a Hello World app or whatever app you create, and you can push it out there in like 10 minutes, and then it's accessible to all your friends and family and everybody around the world, and it can scale. And that's just a crazy amount of power to put in the hands of individuals. So my request to developers would be go try it out. Like just go take your favorite Hello World app that's your like standard test that you fall on, and go push it out to Cloud Foundry and see how easy it is, and then go explain to someone who's like in a startup or who has a great idea, who might not be a technologist, like explain to them the potential of being able to push out an app that then a platform like Cloud Foundry maintains 24/7 and scalable to millions, and without the developer having to do that work. So that would be my ask or my request.
Very clever. Nice, nicely put. Definitely, I think people can go and our viewers, I'll also request them, go to cloudfoundry.org and you'll see a whole lot of instructions and steps which will handhold you, and you can get started pretty quickly. So thank you again, Stormy, for that.
Yeah, so I think that was great. And as always, we really appreciate your time amidst sitting in the hotel lobby. At least you have the good view. But are there any final notes, Stormy, on maybe what you're up to or what we can expect in Shanghai that might resonate with our viewers?
Yeah, so the next Cloud Foundry Summit is in Shanghai. And it's the 2nd and 3rd of December. I strongly encourage anybody in the area, or even if you just want a trip to China, to come join us, because we have another awesome lineup of speakers. We're looking at whether we should do another conference, probably do some training. So it'll be a great time to meet up with the community. And all of the research right now shows that China is really at a pivotal point. They're moving from internet as a service to platform as a service, and now is the time they're looking at these technologies. So it's going to be an exciting time to be there.
Yeah, I wish Sujay and I were getting over there. We will not, but we'll be watching.
Oh, we're going to miss you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we'll be missing the energy as well, yeah.
But we'll watch the tweets, we'll watch for the announcements, and we'll make sure that we kind of get some of the big announcements that come out of that, and some of the great speakers, hopefully, on our show. So we're excited. So we've kind of reached the end of Stormy, but our show is not over.
Yes, and now, Adrian, it's the end of our week 1 of our contest. It's the month of HPE Helium app. That's our hashtag, we are using. So we challenge you to build applications running on HPE Helium Staccato. We receive an awesome T-shirt just for registering.
Yes, I'm wearing it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's really great. Just one lucky winner chosen every week, in November, will receive an Oculus Rift DK2. Can you pull it up, Adrian?
Yeah. So here's our T-shirt. I'm wearing our T-shirt. Hold on. Let me actually make sure you guys can see the T-shirt. Yeah, pretty cool. And then this will be mailed to you, to your own mailbox. So that's actually really nice too. And grand prize right here. I'm not taking it out of the box just because I don't want people to think I used it first.
Oh, you wanted to.
I did.
Yeah.
So, Stormy, Sujay, drum rolls, please. We're going to announce our first winner. Woohoo! It's actually Samuel Bartel from Orange Business Services. He's a software architect. So congratulations, Samuel.
Woo.
I will be in contact with additional details, but great job.
Lovely.
We saw your tweet of pushing your first Staccato app, so we really appreciate that.
Yep, and remember, all participants can register, and our viewers can register on our site and tweet a pic, which is your Staccato push command line thing, and you just need to tag. The hashtag is HPE Helium app, and of course, you follow us on our Twitter account. It's @2Protons, and you'll hear more from us, on our Twitter channel.
Yep, and then all of us can wear these really cool T-shirts together. We'll start a style trend. But I want to say again, thank you, Stormy. I again really appreciate you making the time amidst a keynote, driving around, and everything that you've had to do to prep for the upcoming
sitting
summit.
in the basement of a hotel, look at that.
Thank you for having me, and I'll just leave you with the view.
Perfect. So we will see you guys all next week. We'll have our second week winner for the Oculus Rift, DK2, and keep pushing and kind of take advantage of Stormy's challenge to all you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.